You showed up at my doorway like nothing ever broke, standing there with careful eyes and words you barely spoke. You said you've been thinking about the way we fell apart. Our distance was a lesson that rewired your heart. I didn't slam the door on you, I didn't pull you in. I let the moment settle on the surface of my mind. Because the last time that you I was someone else entirely, and I rebuilt my breathing, slow and quietly. You don't get to stay the same and find me where you left. You don't get to call my name like nothing was undone or kept. I'm softer but I'm stronger than I've ever been before. If you're stepping back inside my life, you'll meet a different door. You said the nights were restless, that you chased my memory like I was some unfinished line in your history. I listen without flinching, without a need to blame, because we both know loving isn't something you can tame. I asked you what has changed now, what makes you turn around. Is it comfort that you're missing, or solid honest ground? You held my gaze much longer than you ever used to do, and said you finally understand the weight of losing true. I won't pretend my heartbeat didn't recognize your voice. There's history in my body that doesn't need a choice. But history's not destiny, it's simply what we've known. And I have learned to value the life I've grown alone. You don't get to stay the same and find me where you stood. I'm not the girl who waited, hoping you would. I've built a quiet center that doesn't lean or sway. If you wanna love me now, you have to meet me halfway. We walked a little farther down the block we used to claim. The sidewalks felt familiar, but I didn't feel the same. I noticed how you paused more, how you let your silence breathe, how you didn't rush to promise what you couldn't guarantee. That's new, I'll give you that. It's often something small, not a collapse of reason, not a reckless fall. Just a careful consideration, like weighing gentle glass, seeing if the cracks we had could truly ever pass. You said you're not here begging, not here to be right, just asking for a chance to hold me different this time. And I said I'm not rejecting, I'm not closing up the air, but I won't shrink my future to make it easier to share. You don't get to stay the same, don't expect me not to grow. Love is not a way to move, it moves with what we know. If we begin within, it won't be out of fear, it will be because we choose it, standing fully here. So if you're staying, stay aware of who I am today, of boundaries I didn't have in words I now can say. If you're leaving, leave with truth, no vanishing in disguise, because I won't unravel for uncertain goodbyes. You reached for my hand slowly, not claiming, just asking, and I let our fingers meet without collapsing. There's warmth in second chances when both have learned to change, but only if we understand we don't get to stay the same.
There's a flicker in my front light, coins jam in the slot. Selection buttons sticking on choices I forgot. Display reads something simple, pixelated blur, temporarily unavailable. That's what I was. I used to glow in hallways, full stock behind my glass. Color-coded promises, lined in shining mass. Insert the right amount, push before C9. Deliver quick convenience, unpredictable design. Out of order, sign taped to my chest. Doesn't mean I'm empty or failing at my best. Sometimes mechanisms stall, springs misaligning. But that doesn't mean there's nothing left to provide. The piano ticks mechanical, short notes clipped in neat. Brushes imitate a metal hum and syncopated beat. The bass line keeps it grounded, low voltage and slow, like steady current waiting for the switch to blow. You shake me when I don't respond, tilt me to the side, expect a bag of something sweet to drop on cue and glide. But wires tangle quietly behind the steel facade. Not every pause is sabotage, not every glitch is flawed. I wasn't built for constant use without a good rest, without a quiet maintenance to reset what's compressed. No one reads the manual, they only see the sign and walk toward brighter models in a better line. Out of order, still bolted to the wall, still holding something valuable behind it all. Maybe the coin return is just stuck halfway. Maybe patience is the only fee to pay. Don't kick the frame, just wait. There's dust along my edges, fingerprints on chrome, evidence of every hungry hour I've known. I've given out what I could in wrapped and salted form, but even steel gets tired of constant storm. Technician with a quiet face comes with simple tools, opens up the back panel, doesn't treat me like a fool. Adjusts a loosened spot, clears the jammed up track, closes me without a call, just flips the switch back. Out of order doesn't mean erased, it means a pause in motion, a recalibrated pace. Now lights come back in steady, display sharp and clear. Still the same machine, just running better here. Maintenance isn't weakness, so if you see that paper sign taped across the frame, maybe don't assume it's broken beyond name. Some systems only need a moment to restore, and sometimes strength is simply knowing when to close the door. Close the door. Close the door.
The curtain breeze before it rises, a quiet tremor in the air. I stand behind the line of light, feeling every stare. It's been a while since I was here, since echoes carried my name. I walk through seasons off the stage without applause or flame. But something in my chest stayed warm, a steady, patient tone. Not chasing noise or crowded praise, just waiting to be known. The band begins with gentle keys, a rhythm soft and tight. And when I step into the groove, it feels exactly right. My voice doesn't rush to prove, it doesn't beg or plead. It lands where it was always meant, with clarity and need. I learned the shape of silence to the worth of being still. I face the doubt behind the door and climb my own small hill. So now I sing without disguise, no borrowed shine to wear. Just breath and bone and honest sound floating through the air. I see a woman in the front, holding something in her hands. Maybe hope, maybe memory, maybe unspoken plans. If one note reaches where she sits and settles in her day, then every mile I walked away was leading to this way. The drums brush lightly under me, bass steady at my side. Guitar like a whispering friend, with nothing left to hide. I don't need fireworks tonight or lights that blind the room. Just this circle of open space where melodies can bloom. There were years I shaped my tone to fit what others heard, sanding down the edges sharp, polishing every word. But truth has texture deep and real, it doesn't have to shine. It carries warmth in every line, because the voice is mine. The mic is close against my lips, I feel the pulse inside each phrase, a living testament to what I never lied. I sing about the roads I chose, the ones I let pass by, about the courage found in staying when it was easier to fly. And as the final chorus lifts, not louder, just more sure, I know I stand in fuller skin, unedited and pure. The curtain falls without a rush, applause, a rising tide, but deeper than the clapping hands is peace I feel inside. I didn't come to chase a throne or claim what once was bright. I came to stand and let it ring. This is my voice tonight.
You asked me if this train was right for heading out of town. Ticket folded in, slight worry and a frown. Check the board above us, watch the numbers blink. Said, yeah, you're good, and gave a nod before I stopped to think. The station air was humming, luggage wheels and cars, announcements drifting overhead off concrete, steel and walls. People moving forward like chapters being turned. Strangers passing strangers with no time to be concerned. 5 minutes on platform 3, that's all it ever was. No history, no afterthought, no complicated cut. Just 2 lives intersecting in a narrow stretch of space. A brief and simple kindness in a busy passing place. The piano keeps it gentle, a soft averted line. Brushes barely tapping like footsteps out of time. The bass line hums below us, low and easy going, like there's something steady even in our knowing. You said you hadn't traveled on this far before. That city's felt much louder than the ones you knew before. I smiled and told the story of getting lost once too, and how the wrong direction led somewhere I outgrew. You laughed a little lighter, the tension in your face softened into something less guarded, more at ease. No promises exchanged, no numbers saved away, just understanding shared before you and your way. 5 minutes on platform 3 can shift a crowded day. A single steady sentence can keep the fear at bay. It doesn't take forever to offer someone space. Sometimes the smallest moment leaves the longest trace. You'll be alright. Trust your steps. They know the way. The train lights grew brighter, a silver rolling line. Doors opening in rhythm, right on borrowed time. Lifted up your suitcase, took one steady breath, looked back just for a second, like marking what we'd met. I raised a hand in farewell, no grand emotional scene, just gratitude unfolding for what that pause had been. A reminder in the middle of schedules and of speed, that people cross your orbit right when you most need. 5 minutes on platform 3, then the whistle and the glass. Your reflection in the window carried to the other side. The crowd resumed its motion like nothing much had changed, but something in my chest felt quietly rearranged. Oh, safe travel wherever you're going. I stayed a little longer, watching rails grow still, thinking how connection doesn't always need to build. Some moments don't require a future or a plan, they just exist to prove how gentle life can stand. 5 minutes on platform 3, that's all it had to be. A small and honest meeting between you and me. No headline, no encore, no story to retrieve, just warmth inside a fleeting moment we could leave.
I pressed the elevator button twice, the once would be enough. My reflection in the metal door looks calm but slightly flushed. The lobby hums with early steps, shoes against the floor, names exchanged in careful tones near a glass and wooden door. I smooth the edges of my sleeve, breathe slow and even air, not trying to be someone else, just standing present there. The badge they hand me feels brand new, cool against my palm, a small square sign that says begin, in measured, grounded calm. I've imagined rooms like this before, in late and quiet nights. Wondered if my voice would shake under office lights. But now the moment isn't sharp or bigger than my frame. It feels like space I've grown toward, not something wild to tame. Decks aligned in steady rows, screens softly aglow. Colleagues with practice these in rhythms they already know. I do not shrink beside them or stretch beyond my size. I meet each introduction with attentive, open eyes. There's comfort in admitting I am here to learn. Strength is not pretending I've already earned. The manager speaks of projects, timelines drawn in line, expectations clear and firm, yet not the unkind inside. I take notes with steady script, not racing to impress. Listen for the deeper thread in every brief address. The coffee tastes a little thin, but warms me all the same, like a quiet confirmation that I have joined the game. I used to fear the unknown room, afraid I'd stand apart, but growth begins exactly here, where courage meets the start. I ask a question carefully, not loud but strong and clear, and notice how the answer comes without a trace of sneer. There's dignity in being new, in building skill from ground, in watching how the pieces fit, in learning every sound. The afternoon unfolds in tasks, small victories in place, an email sent, a file aligned, a steady working pace. No fireworks announce the day, no headline marks my name, yet something subtle shifts inside, a spark without a flame. I'm not required to conquer all or prove a flawless art. I only need to show up whole with focus, willing heart. As sunlight leans across the glass and shadows gently grow, I gather up my notebook with more than facts to show. I carry quiet confidence, not loud but firmly set, a sense that I am capable of what I haven't met. The door behind me closes soft, the evening cool and wide. I step outside with lifted chin, no need to run or hide. Tomorrow I will walk again through that familiar hall, less uncertain than before, standing just as tall, because the first day isn't fear or pressure to command it, simply placing steady hope in capable open hands. And in that simple honest truth, as daylight slowly bends, I know that every step from here is where becoming begins.
The chair makes a careful sound against the wooden floor. Sunlight angled through the glass like it's been here before. Dust drifting in the quiet air, slow and unafraid. Books stacked in deliberate piles of choices I've made. The clock above the far wall moves without display. No one rushing anyone to finish or to say. The turning of a single page feels louder than a crowd in this cathedral made of thought where silence is allowed. Window seat, third floor, where time expands and bends. No notifications calling, no message that demands. Just paragraphs unfolding in steady, patient streams. A room built out of language and unannounced dreams. The piano traces softer lines, clear but understated. Brushes tap a thoughtful beat, measured and inflated. The bass line hums beneath it, low and anchored deep. Light concentration settling where restless minds once sleep. I underline a sentence that seems to know my name. Fold the corner carefully without a trace of shame. There's comfort in the margins, in notes beside the text, in writing small reflections on what might happen next. I used to think that focus required force and strain, that discipline was rigid and tethered tight with chain. But here it feels much different, like leaning into flow, attention like a river with somewhere real to go. Window seat, third floor, light warming up my hands. Ideas forming quietly without loud demands. There's freedom in absorption, in letting meaning stay, in trusting slow accumulation to shape another day. Stay with it, line by line. You're right here. A student at the corner taps a pencil twice. An older man turns pages in measured, careful slice. We share this open quiet without a single word, connected by intention, unfelt and heard. Outside the branches sway, casting shadows thin. The world continues moving while I am moving in, not hiding from the motion, not lost inside retreat, just choosing deeper currents over constant heat. Window seat, third floor, the chapter almost done, not racing to the ending, not chasing after one, just letting understanding arrive in its own time, because insight grows in silence more than in a climb. One more page, you're not behind. I close the book with steady hands, look out at passing sky. There's clarity in slowing down instead of asking why. The chair makes that same careful sound as I begin to stand, carrying quiet knowledge I didn't have planned.
You always knew the way I think before I shape the sound, the pauses in my sentences, the truths I wrapped around. We didn't have to overtalk or prove what we could see. There was a quiet fluency between you and me. behind my smile, the doubt beneath my calm, and placed your steady hand in mine without alarm. I learned the language of your eyes, the shift before you'd speak, the subtle signs that something strong was suddenly less weak. We were not reckless lovers or loud in crowded rooms. We built our closeness carefully in late night quietudes. So how did something so wrong begin to slowly slide? Not from anger or betrayal, but currents underneath the tide. You wanted mountains I admired, but didn't need to climb. I wanted roots in smaller rooms to shape a gentler time. Neither dream was lesser, neither heart untrue, but somewhere in the middle, the tension grew. We tried to compromise the shape of futures drawn in air, bent our outlines slightly to make the edges share. But love cannot erase the grain of who we are inside. It can embrace and soften, not rewrite the tide. I remember one long evening, city lights below you, speaking of horizons. I was afraid to know. I nodded like I understood, and maybe part of me did, but another part was whispering of something we both hid. Not fear of loving fully, not doubt of what was real, just recognition quietly that past began to feel less parallel, more angled, less woven, more apart. Even as affection stayed anchored in the heart, we did not break and shatter pieces or slam the fragile door. We sat and let the silence say what words could not restore. There was no villain in our story, no single thing to blame, just two people evolving without the same terrain. You kissed my forehead gently, not desperate, not undone, and I felt something bittersweet instead of being stunned. Because to love someone completely sometimes means to see that holding on too tightly would undo what we could be. So we released each other without a war or cry, not because the love was small, but because it had to fly. I walk through rooms that once were ours and do not feel erased. I feel the imprint of a bond that time will not replace. You taught me how to listen, how to stay and not retreat, how to hold another's truth with something steady. We understood each other in ways that still remain, and maybe that is why the ending doesn't feel like pain. It feels like two horizons recognizing different light, turning with respect in separate night. And though our hands unclasped before the road was straight, I will always know we loved. We simply understood too late.
Concrete pillars numbered white, echo in the dark. Headlights sweep across the wall, then slowly lose their spark. I shift to park and turn the key, engine winding down. Vibration fading from the wheel into underground. Air inside the cabin, warmer than outside. Dashboard glowing steady in a muted tide. Radio still whispering, voice I barely hear. Then silence settles evenly when I switch the gear. Engine off, lights fade, breathing in the pause. No one knocking on the glass, no urgent cause. Just the tick of cooling metal under dimming heat. A pocket card from motion where I can sift what's true. The piano lays in lower tones, common spaced apart. Brushes tap a gentle pulse like a slowing heart. The bass line hums beneath it, deep and grounded slow. A quiet reassurance that I don't have to go. I sit with hands on steering wheel, but not to steer away. Just feeling how the earlier rush has loosened from the day. Conversations replay softly, emails left unread. Nothing pressing in this minute, nothing left unsaid. I used to rush inside at once, door slam, lights on bright, carrying the outside noise straight into the night. But now I linger in between, not outside or home, letting thoughts untangle before I'm fully known. Stay a second, let it settle. You're not late. Door shuts somewhere distant, footsteps cross the floor. Keys jingle, then a hush returns the way before. Fluorescent lights above me buzz but never shout. Concrete cool and steady, keeping echoes out. There's comfort in the in-between, in spaces without role. Not employee or neighbor, not any label whole. Just a person breathing inside a parked machine, waiting for the right moment to shift from what has been. Engine off, lights fade, I reach for the door. Outside air slips inward, cooler than before. I step into the quiet, close the metal frame, carry that small stillness back with me the same. Now go gently, gently. The sensors flicker overhead as I begin to move. Concrete fading into stairs with steady, quiet groove. Engine off, lights fade, but something steady stays. A calm I found in pausing between the crowded days.
You showed up at my doorway like nothing ever broke. Standing there with careful eyes and words you barely spoke. You said you've been thinking about the way we fell apart, like distance was a lesson that rewired your heart. I didn't slam the door on you, I didn't pull you in. I let the moments as you held me. I was someone else entirely, and I rebuilt my breathing, slow and quietly. You don't get to stay the same and find me where you left. You don't get to call my name like nothing was undone or kept. I'm softer but I'm stronger than I've ever been before. If you're stepping back inside my life, you'll need a different door. You said the nights were restless, that you traced my memory like I was some unfinished line in your history. I listen without flinching, without a need to blame, because we both know loving isn't something you can tame. I asked you why this changed now, what makes you turn around? Is it comfort that you're missing, or solid honest ground? You held my gaze much longer than you ever used to do, and said you finally understand the weight of losing true. I won't pretend my heartbeat didn't recognize your voice. There's history in my body that doesn't need a choice. But history's not destiny, it's simply what we've known. And I have learned to value the life I've grown alone. You don't get to stay the same and find me where you stood. I'm not the girl who waited, hoping you would. I've built a quiet center that doesn't lean or sway. If you want to love me now, you'll have to meet me halfway. We walked a little farther down the block we used to claim. The sidewalks felt familiar, but I didn't feel the same. I noticed how you paused more, how you let your silence breathe, how you didn't rush to promise what you couldn't guarantee. That's new, I'll give you that. It's often something small, not a collapse of reason, not a reckless fall, just a careful consideration, like weighing gentle glass, seeing if the cracks we had could truly ever pass. You said you're not here begging, not here to rewrite, just asking for a chance to hold me different this time. And I said I'm not rejecting, I'm not closing up the door, but I won't shrink my future to make it easier to share. You don't get to stay the same and expect me not to grow. Love is not a waiting room, it moves with what we know. If we begin again, it won't be out of fear, it'll be because we choose it, standing fully here. So if you're staying, stay aware of who I am today, of boundaries I didn't have in words I now can say. If you're leaving, leave with truth, no vanishing in disguise, because I will unravel for certain goodbyes. You reach for my hand slowly, not clean, just asking, and I let our fingers meet without collapsing. There's warmth in second chances when both have learned to change, but only if we understand. We don't get to stay the same.
There's a flicker in my front light, coins jam in the slot, selection button sticking on choices I forgot. Display reads something simple in pixelated blur, temporarily unavailable, that's what I was. I used to glow in hallways, full stop behind my glass, color-coded promises lined in shining masks. insert the right amount. Push before C9. Deliver quick convenience on predictable design. Out of order, sign taped to my chest. Doesn't mean I'm empty or failing at my best. Sometimes mechanisms stall, springs misalign inside. But that doesn't mean there's nothing left to provide. The piano ticks mechanical, short notes clipped and neat. Brushes imitate a metal hum in syncopated beat. The bass line keeps it grounded, low voltage and slow, like steady current waiting for the switch to glow. You shake me when I don't respond, tilt me to the side, expect a bag of something sweet to drop on cue and glide. But wires tangle quietly behind the steel facade. Not every pause is sabotage, not every glitch is flaw. I wasn't built for constant use without a day of rest, without a quiet maintenance to reset what's compressed. No one reads the manual, they only see the sign and walk toward brighter models in a better line. Out of order, still bolted to the wall, still holding something valuable behind it all. Maybe the coin return is just stuck halfway. Maybe patience is the only fee to pay. Don't kick the frame, just wait, there's dust along my edges, fingerprints on chrome, evidence of every hungry hour I've known. I've given out what I could in wrapped in salted foam, but even steel gets tired under constant storm. Technician with a quiet face comes with simple tools, opens up the back panel, doesn't treat me like a fool, adjusts a loosened spring, clears the jammed up track, closes me without applause, just flips the switch back. Out of order, doesn't mean erased. Doesn't mean erased, it means a pause in motion, recalibrated pace. Now lights come back in steady, display sharp and clear, still the same machine. Just running better here. Maintenance isn't weakness. Paper sign taped across the frame, maybe don't assume it's broken beyond name. Some systems only need a moment to restore, and sometimes strength is simply knowing when to close the door.
I saw you first through the window glass, reflected in a moving train. For a second I forgot to breathe, like time had circled back again. You stood there with your hands in pockets, looking smaller than I knew. Or maybe I just saw you clearer, without the weight of what we grew. My heart didn't race like lightning, it didn't crash against my ribs. It moved like something careful, like it remembered how you lived. There was no storm inside me, no trembling at the knees, just a warmth that felt familiar, like a long lost melody. We almost said hello again, almost let the silence bend, almost stepped across the years that we folded into ends. You turned slightly toward me, I felt the air begin to spin. We almost said hello again, we almost let it in. I wondered if you felt it too, that gentle pull of then and now. Not a hunger, not a heartbreak, just a quiet wondering how two people once so certain could drift without a fight and still stand here unbroken in the soft electric light. I thought about the little things, the way you held your spoon, how you'd read the final pages first and humming off key tune. Those details didn't wound me, they didn't make me fall, they simply felt like chapters from a book I once called. Oh, we almost said hello again, almost let our fingers move, almost let out the years and what they helped improve. I saw your eyes grow warmer, like you felt it settling in. We almost said hello again, we almost let it begin. And maybe that was perfect, but nearly crossing line, because love doesn't always need to rewrite every time. Sometimes it's just a mirror held steady in the day, showing who we used to be and how we found our way. You look stronger in your stillness, more grounded than before. I saw the quiet on your shoulders, like you'd settled every war. And I stood there with my heart steady as a drum, grateful for the story and who we've both become. We almost said hello again, almost said hello, but something felt complete, not broken, not unfinished, just balanced on our feet. We gave each other softness, a half smile, small and thin. We almost said hello again, and that was everything. The train arrived between us, doors sliding open wide, a brief and simple moment with nothing left to hide. You nodded like a promise that needed no defense, and I nodded back in kindness without regret or pretense. As you disappeared inside, I didn't chase the sound, because loving you once deeply was enough to hold my ground. Some stories don't need sequels, some feelings don't demand a second chance at fire when peace is close at hand. We almost said hello again, and that was more than fine. A quiet kind of closure that felt like gentle time. No ache inside my breathing, no wish to start anew, just gratitude for who I was the day I
I bought a fern on impulse on a Tuesday after work. Didn't know the Latin name, just liked its quiet perk. Set it by the window, watered it too much. Googled why are leaves turning brown, panicked at the touch. Now there's basil in the kitchen, succulents on the shelf, a cactus with an attitude that mirrors me myself. I check the soil each morning like it's breaking news. Celebrate a tiny sprout like headline-worthy view. I talk to my plants now like they understand. Hanging there fine is something I've planned. I rotate them for sunlight, apologize for drafts. It's cheaper than a therapist and twice as good for laughs. The piano's got a playful swing, a little bounce and grin. Brushes tapping lightly like mischief settling. Baseline walks in circles, confident and round, like it knows I found my calm in chlorophyll and ground. I used to chase productivity, optimize my day, track my habits, count my steps, measure every way. But nothing humbles ego like a drooping little leaf. You cannot out-hustle nature or negotiate with grief. My neighbor thinks I'm strange now, catching me mid-speech. Don't worry, little rosemary, you're finally rich. He waters his tomatoes, pretends he doesn't care. But I've seen him whisper when he thinks nobody's there. I talk to my plants now about my week and such. They never interrupt me or advise too much. They just stand there, photosynthesizing, patient, green and still, teaching me consistency without a single drill. Grow slow, that's fine, so do I. The fern survived the winter, the cactus bloomed once, the basil bolted awkwardly, but that's life front to front. Some things thrive in sunlight, some need partial shade. Some days I overwater, some days I underplay. There's wisdom in the watering, intending what you keep, and understanding progress doesn't always leap. It sometimes looks like showing up with picture in your hand, trusting small routines to slowly shape the land. I talk to my plants now, and honestly it's true. The things I say to them are things I need to hear too. Be patient with your growing, don't compare your leaves. You're allowed a season to shed what no one sees. You're doing fine. Keep preaching. They don't applaud my efforts, they don't demand a plan, but every new unfurling feels quiet again. Turns out I didn't need another grand romance, just dirt beneath my fingernails and a second chance. Everybody's walking faster, like the pavements on a clock. Shoes tapping out ambition on every single block. Screens glowing, moving faces, deadlines in their eyes. The air is thick with hurry under steel and glass and skies. I used to match the tempo, let it pull me by the sleeve. Every note felt too loud to leave. Breathing like a contest, running without pause. Measuring my value by invisible applause. But the city keeps on turning, whether I run or stand. So I loosen up my shoulders and unclench my hands. There's a rhythm underneath, quieter than the sound, a steadier vibration if you're willing to be found. The city moves, I don't, not the way it used to make me. I let the trains rush past without letting them shake me. There's power in the choosing not to join the race. Strength inside the stillness and holding my own pace. The piano drops a low chord, soft against the noise. Brushes on the snare like a whisper in the void. The bass line hums assurance, deep and unafraid, like something rooted firmly, even when it sways. Billboards flash their promises of faster, bigger, more. Elevators climb ambition through every mirrored floor. But none of it can tell me who I need to be if I forget the person walking quietly in me. The city moves, I don't, at least not in that way. I won't trade my breathing for a brighter display. There's room inside my footsteps for something real and slow, a confidence that doesn't need a spotlight's glow. Let them hurry, let them prove you don't have to. I stand at intersections and watch the colors change, red to green to yellow in predictable exchange. Everyone surges forward like there's something to defend, but I've learned the art of waiting without fearing what might end. There's clarity in choosing not to answer every call, not to fill each silence or scale each shining wall. I'm building something quieter, layer by steady layer, a foundation made of patience and honest self-aware. The city moves, I don't. I bend but never break. I move when it feels right, not for appearance sake. There's calm inside my center that no rush can displace, a grounded kind of certainty the skyline can't erase. You're not behind, you're just aligned with your own design. Night settles over windows, reflections in the rain. The noise becomes a distant hum instead of steady strain. And I can walk these crowded streets without absorbing speed, because I know the difference between a want and need. The city moves, I don't, not unless I choose. I don't have to chase the shine or fear what I might lose. There's freedom in the knowing that I can simply be a steady pulse of purpose in the heart. version sing.
You always sit across from me like nothing ever shifts, laughing at the smallest things, pretending we're just this. But something in the way your fingers trace the rim of your glass feels different than the years that have already passed. We said we'd never complicate the comfort that we built, kept every moment balanced without a hint of guilt. Yet every time your shoulder brushes close to mine, there's a quiet spark running under the line. I know your story's like the back of my hand, every reckless plan you never quite planned. You know the way my voice will fall when I'm unsure of it all. But lately there's a softness in your steady gaze, a lingering pause that gently stays, like we're standing on a fragile edge, neither stepping back nor making a pledge. I don't want fireworks tearing the air, no grand display to prove we care, just the warmth of your knee against mine, and that slow, unspoken sign. Maybe love doesn't arrive with a shout. Maybe it grows while we're figuring out how to hold the silence without fear, how to let someone truly near. Your laughter lands deeper than before, echoing somewhere at my core. It's not the same familiar sound, there's a tenderness newly found. I catch myself watching the curve of your smile, holding my breath just a little while, wonder when exactly we cross from safe and certain to gently lost. If I reach for your hand tonight, will it feel natural? Will it feel right? Or will the world tilt softly around, changing the shape of every sound? I don't need promises carved in stone, or perfect words carefully shown. Just meet me here in this in-between, where something honest can be seen. Let's not rush what's blooming slow, let it unfold the way we know, with steady rhythm, calm and true, like every quiet talk we grew through. And if tomorrow carries a different name for what we are and what became, I'll remember this delicate phase where friendship softened into praise. So stay a moment longer than planned, let your fingers rest near my hand. Right here where nothing seems to move is exactly where our hearts improve. No sudden change, no dramatic sign, just your breath falling close to mine. And in that space, so clear and strange, is the place where we quietly change. You looked up only for a second, but something shifted in the air, not loud enough for anyone, yet suddenly you were there. The cafe noise kept moving on, spoons against porcelain tone. But in that small suspended beat, I didn't feel alone. It wasn't lightning, wasn't flame, no cinematic sign, just a subtle rearranging of your rhythm close to mine. You asked if this seat was taken, your voice low, steady, kind. I nodded with a careful smile, unsure what I might find. We spoke of ordinary things, work and weather, passing days, yet underneath the simple words a softer current sways. I noticed how you listened fully, not waiting just to speak. Your focus felt intentional, unrushed, sincere, unique. There was a warmth in how you laughed, not sharp, not seeking praise. It settled gently in my chest and lingered in quiet ways. I've known attraction quick and bright, the kind that burns too fast, but this was different, grounded, slow, like something built to last. You didn't try to impress the room or turn the light your way. You stayed within your natural frame and let the moment stay. When silence came, it wasn't strained, it rested soft and wide, like we were testing if this space was safe enough inside. I found myself revealing truths I rarely let unfold, not secrets heavy with regret, but stories rarely told. You didn't interrupt the thread or rush to make it light. You let my words exist as they were, unedited, upright. The piano somewhere near the bar played chords in mellow hue. Each note seemed to underline the ease I felt with you. We didn't speak of future plans or label what we felt. Yes, something honest had begun before our coffee melt. A brush of fingers passing change, a glance held half a beat. The world continued as before, but softer at my feet. I walked outside beside you, the afternoon still young, not holding hands, just side by side with sentences unsung. There's courage in the early stage before declarations rise, when hope is quiet, steady toned, and lives between the eyes. You said you'd like to see me soon, no pressure in the phrase, just open air around the words, no hidden maze. I've learned not every spark must race toward promise or design. Sometimes the beauty lives within the patient, fragile line. So I let the feeling breathe,